Oh, God. Good morning. I don't know what's wrong today. I don't know what's wrong. But I think you can hear me now. I hope you can. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. I was doing my video and I didn't turn the audio on. Twice I've done it now. And I was sharing on YouTube, I was sharing on Facebook without the sound. And even when I thought I was sharing, I wasn't. But I've realized now that I am. I hope everybody can hear me. So once again, I left the house exactly 6 o'clock, well, 6:02. And now I'm kind of just starting because I didn't share my sound. Anyway, good morning again for the third time. Good morning, morning. This is the Valley Classic here. And it's Sunday morning. And you know how we roll? 5K walk this morning. Just trying to do some power walk if you can, which I'm trying to do, just to get the heart beating really fast. And if you saw my post yesterday on Facebook and on WhatsApp, today's topic is going to be about the heart, cardiac issues, cardiac condition. And that's what this is all about, this walking, the exercise, trying to live healthy. It's all about getting the heart to function effectively and your whole body as well. So yeah, thank you for joining. If you're on Facebook, you're watching from Facebook, because I shared the link on Facebook, please like, please comment, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Like I always say, I need like capital letters. I need the likes, please. I need the subscription on my YouTube channel. Please. Anyway, thank you once again for joining. And if you're new to my channel, I sell fitness apparel, fitness products like waist belts, sports bra, sports vest, leggings, which you can use for sports, casual. And you know, when you're going for that special occasion, you can actually wear my leggings, customized leggings, because they're 2-in-1. They've got waist cincher, you know, so it gives you that really nice fit. And I've got loads of nice review. My wonderful customers, they always come and say, oh, I love this. And most of them buy again. You know, there's nothing more than having a returning customer. It says a lot about your product. So yeah, I do appreciate all my customers. And that's 1 kilometer I've just got there. At least the walk wasn't lost when the audio was. I'll just wait for you to talk, and then we'll get into the topic of the day. Yes, stop talking now. Topic of the day is myocardial infarction. Myocardial infarction. And I left a quiz on my Facebook page the other day, just trying to get a conversation started. And I said, what is another name for myocardial infarction? And I gave options, and although the response wasn't great, but at least there was engagement, you know. And somebody answered correctly, heart attack. Myocardial infarction is also known as heart attack. You know, that's the posh word for heart attack. And they always say, if you want to know the meaning of something, you need to break it down, break the words down. So when you look at myocardial, myo means muscles. cardium is heart or cardiac. And we know that anything that affects the heart is called cardiac disease, cardiac arrest, myocardial infarction, you know. So anything cardiac means heart, has to do with, you know, blood circulation. So yeah, an infarction, you know, so myocardial infarction is basically heart attack. And what it means is it's a severe medical emergency. So I'll use the term interchangeably. I'll use heart attack sometimes. I'll use myocardial infarction, just depends on which comes first to me, okay? I'm sorry, I'm talking so fast. That's because I'm walking. So bear with me, please. Yeah, funny, lovely, you're right. So myocardial infarction, it's a serious medical emergency. Yeah, a serious one. If it's suspected, seek medical attention ASAP. And I'll tell you the symptoms as we go along. So if you see any of these symptoms, call the hospital, call 911, 999, wherever you are, okay? It's an acute condition. And what do we mean by acute? It's a sudden onset. It just comes, a heart attack. However, it's been going on, things have been changing in the body, loads of, and you know, I won't go into much details, but there's what's called, what's this called now? Your body is trying to, you know, our body is, works in a state of homeostasis. And homeostasis is feedback, negative feedback. It goes, when you set something, our body is set naturally. So when things are wrong, the body tries to fix it by itself. You know, and a lot of things are happening. The kidney is working extra hard. The lungs are working extra hard, just because there's some malfunction in the cardiac system. So these things are going on in our body. Sometimes they do show signs, but some people know, some don't. Some people quickly try to revert it in their own way, like management, or quickly seeking medical attention, you know, and some don't. Hopefully, after this session, you will know some telltale signs of myocardial infarction. So, oh God, I'm gonna climb a hill. Oh, no. But we need the hill. Anyway, so I went into all that talk because I said myocardial infarction is an acute condition. However, things have been going on in the body, which you didn't know. So when this heart attack comes, or MI for short, myocardial infarction is MI for short. When it happens, it just comes. And what it means is that, there's a supply of blood to the heart is blocked. That's what causes a heart attack or an MI. And what blocks the heart supply? It's a clot, a blood clot, also called thrombus. You know, and this is a result of loads of, you know, biological cascade, really. Loads of things are happening. You know, if you watch a previous video, this hill, it's very healing. But I'll talk as I walk because it's good for the heart function. You know, so if you watch my previous videos, I've been talking about cholesterol, exercise and all that. So cholesterol, bad cholesterol, is a leading cause of clots. So what the body does is, on in, somebody's happy. So what the body does is, when it has loads of bad cholesterol, coupled with, arteries that's already lost its integrity. As we grow older, our arteries change, our whole body change. So sometimes that's loss of integrity in the arteries. Could be due to age, could be due to your diet, could be due to your lifestyle. But whatever the cause, it does happen. And then lots of physiological reaction cascade goes on in the body. There's the formation of foam cells and the clot formation, and it ruptures. Oh, this hill. Let me go faster. Sorry, guys. If you're watching me on YouTube, it's very hilly, this place. And if you're watching, are you exercising? Come on, do something. That's the point of this whole exercise, just to encourage others to do. But for some people, it's too early, so they'll rather do it later. That's fine. But do something when the time suits you. This girl. Oh, I'm going to turn my camera when I get to the top so you can see from. And this is where I went through it last week as well. I think I did this route last week. And for people that live in some areas, if you fear insecurity, is either you do it at home or you do it on a very busy road. I don't go to narrow roads. I'll take a breath here. Up of the hill. I'll turn my camera so you see where I'm coming from. It's not even showing really well. But do you see? You see the hill? Yeah. My walker just paused. I'll just take a breath, guys. Oh. And thank you so much for joining. If you're there, please leave a comment, leave a like, and share. Please share the video. Share the video. Somebody might want to know how they can benefit from this. Oh, this is the old one. Yeah. Okay, I will carry on now. Let me go to Zoom. Now I'm so hot. Okay, I'll carry on. So that is the formation of clots. It's more complex than I've just said it, but that's the simplest way I can put it. So the major cause of that blockage is the clot. And mind you, the arteries, they've narrowed, they've narrowed, and that clot comes, and that narrowing is caused by, like we said earlier, plaque formation, and that plaque is what ruptures and forms a clot and moves away, and it blocks the arteries completely. So when there is a total blockage or total occlusion to arteries, thereby blocking blood supply, then we have what is called a myocardial infarction or a heart attack, because there's no blood supply to the heart. And it also means a serious damage to the myocytes. Myocytes are the myocardium cells. That's the cells of the heart. The cells around the heart, the myocytes. And it's a very serious condition. Like I said earlier, it's life-threatening. So if anybody's suspected of having a heart attack, emergency medical attention is needed. So what are the symptoms of a heart attack or myocardial infarction? One, primary symptom is chest pain. And chest pain is also called angina. That's the medical name for it. And chest pain can be severe. It could be mild. There are two types of angina. You know, there is one on exaction and the other is not an exaction. Let me check now, just a minute. Okay. Yeah, so there are two types of angina. Stable, yeah, that's the right word. Stable and unstable angina. You know, stable angina is the one that you only get upon exaction. So there must be a stressor. There must be something that you are doing that causes that chest pain. And the chest pain we're talking about now. Oh yeah, I've got 2 kilometers. Isn't that beautiful? Yes, Lord. It's really nice when you're talking and you don't even know you're going really fast. Yeah. So I've got 2 kilometers. I'll just wait for you to talk and I'll continue. And if you're still there, thank you for joining. Thumbs up the video. Like and share, please. Yeah, the cars are really noisy. And the aeroplane, go away. Yeah. I'll just wait for the airplane to go. That's the noise. Yeah. So the type of chest pain that we're talking about is this really squeezy pain. You feel like you are being pressed by a hard or heavy object in your chest. You know, you feel this really, really painful tightening in your chest. You know, and this pain normally radiates from the chest. Remember, radiates from the chest and you know, that's where the heart is, especially around the left side, but not particularly. You know, sometimes it could just be anywhere in your chest, but then it radiates. The pain doesn't just stay there. The pain radiates from your chest to your jaw, to your neck, to the arm, and to the back. That's what's called radiating pain. So those are the, if it's just a pain, you know, somewhere it's just there, chances are it might not be an angina or, sorry, a heart attack. It might be, but it's best to get it checked anyway. Anything chest pain and you're worried, go and get it checked. Better safe than sorry. So like we said earlier, this chest pain, stable and unstable. As I'm walking now, you know, if I felt chest pain with these characteristics, I would say, oh, that's an unstable. Oh, let me get my facts right. Walk out, pause. Yeah. Okay, yeah. If I was walking now, as I'm walking and I felt pain, that would be a stable angina. That would be a stable angina. And because when I stop walking, when I stop putting that physical pressure on my body, the pain stops. So, however, unstable is that pain. Sometimes you're just sleeping. You're just sleeping and, you know, you just have that pain. You're not doing anything physical. You're not doing anything heavy. You just have that pain. And anytime, it doesn't even have to be when you're sleeping, you're just sitting. And that's really tight knot in your chest that radiates to your jaw, to your neck, everywhere. Comes. So that's an unstable angina. So that is one of the classical symptoms of heart attack. And another one is shortness of breath. Shortness of breath, SOB, when you gasping for air. And what your body is doing is, because there is no blood supply, because of the clot, remember, that has blocked the major arteries in circulation in your heart, or the major arteries in your heart, there's no blood. And the lungs, we need oxygen. So oxygen is not going to the heart. Lots of things are happening. Oh, good morning, ma.
Good morning, sis. Sorry.
It's all right.
It's raining over here, so I couldn't go out.
Yeah, it was raining
So
yesterday, but this morning is not bad, and I just got my coat on.
yeah, it's raining here now.
Yeah.
So
How are you, ma?
I'm doing well. How are you? You sound
You're
full of
blessed. You're blessed.
energy.
Ma?
You sound full of energy.
I think that's one thing when you're walking outside. It's just the fresh air. You know, it gives you more energy.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, I'm talking about myocardial infarction, also known as heart attack. And I've just started not quite long, to be honest, because I was doing the video, I was talking. I didn't know that I didn't set the audio, so there was no sound.
Okay.
And I was just talking, so I had to start again. So I've talked about what MI is, and I'm just sharing the symptoms to know if someone is having a heart attack. You know, myocardial infarction is also known as a heart attack. So the first one is chest pain, severe chest pain, also called angina. There's stable and unstable angina. And that pain starts from the chest and it radiates. It doesn't stay there. It radiates to the neck, to the jaw, to the shoulder, everywhere, you know, and the pain feels pressed. You feel pressed and squeezed. It's as if somebody is being squeezed by heavy objects, you know, so that's angina pain. And what happens, why people feel that pain is because there's no blood supply to the heart. There's no oxygen going there. So the heart is, you know, things are just changing and cells are dying. That's why they say if you feel any of these symptoms, it's best to seek medical attention ASAP, because the earlier you get, the earlier somebody gets medical attention, the less cell death and the less overall damage to the heart. And they always say time is tissue when it comes to the heart. For every time wasted, is a tissue being dead. So any of these symptoms, seek for emergency help. So one is chest pain, that's the symptom. The other is shortness of breath. And you know, people are holding their chest and gasping for breath. That's because they can't breathe. They can't breathe because there's blockage of blood to the heart muscles, and consequently, the heart is not able to pump blood because the heart pumps blood around the body. And then the body, there's no blood going to the lungs. You know, it's a cycle of events. It just goes on and on and on. You know, so the lungs is affected as well. Like I said earlier, this only happens after a while. Our body has tried to repair itself, repair. After a while, you know, it just knocks off. So the kidneys, they are overactive now. The lungs are working overactive and probably even damaged, you know, before this thing happens. So it's important that we look at our body as a whole. So another symptom is fatigue, you know, feeling dizzy, feeling weak. Those are the classical symptoms of a heart attack. And then there's an overwhelming feeling of anxiety, fear. Like I said, I am doing a dissertation on myocardial infarction. And one of the main psychological complaints of the people who have suffered it is fear. According to them, they see death in the face when it happens, like, oh my God, this is it. You know, so that fear is there, like, is this the end? You know, so when anybody's feeling like that, that's why this education is important, not just for us, for our loved ones as well. We should encourage our loved ones to know these things for themselves. God forbid it happens. You know, instead of just shouting and crying, know what to do. Go for, get your phone, you know, call for help instead of saying, what's going on? What's going on? You know. So I'll continue with the symptoms. However, not everyone feels this severe chest pain. Not everybody will feel it. Some will, some won't. But the combination of all these symptoms, if somebody say, I just feel chest pain, it's not tightening, it's not radiating to my shoulder and my jaw, but the person is gasping for air, shortness of breath, and the person is fatigued, he may be even feeling faint, that is an heart attack. It might just be presenting differently in that person. So please seek for medical attention ASAP. You know, and they said, what do you do if it happens? God forbid. Call the ambulance, then give the person, or if, God forbid, is one of, somebody's happening to, chew and swallow. Chew, they say chew because the receptors are in the tongue. Aspirin, aspirin, we take it in Nigeria for headache, it treats a lot of things. Aspirin, and the other day I was reading an article where they said there's a trial where they are using aspirin to treat breast cancer for women. I think last week, and I was like, wow, the wonderful word of aspirin. So aspirin is good for a lot of things, but the first course of action of a suspected heart attack is to give them 300 milligrams of aspirin. And if the patient or if the person can, let them chew it. I honestly don't know how it tastes because I hate medication, but I suppose it will be bitter like every other medication. But right now it's a matter of life and death. So if they can, let the person chew it and swallow that aspirin. Why aspirin? Because aspirin is what they call a blood thinner. Aspirin is a blood thinner. So what it does is it breaks the clot. Because remember, this whole heart attack business started with clot that's ruptured, that's blocked major arteries. So we are trying to reverse the action. And aspirin is a blood thinner, also called an anticoagulant. So give them aspirin, and to check if they have allergies to aspirin, then that's do not give, because that will provoke another reaction. But if they don't have any known allergy to aspirin, please administer aspirin, and then while you're waiting for hospital, maybe the emergency to come, just keep an eye on the person. I'll come back here. Let me start going home. So keep an eye on the person. And in the hospital, they are treated with meds and surgery. And at this junction, I'll just add that heart attack is different from a cardiac arrest. But heart attack can lead to a cardiac arrest. Heart attack is the person is still conscious, but then they're having this severe pain. They are holding their chest, shortness of breath. They are fatigued. There's fear, that's an episode of a heart attack. However, a cardiac arrest is basically stoppage. Why heart attack is going on? The heart is still trying to pump. It's still trying to pump, but there's no blood. But the cardiac arrest, the heart has stopped pumping. And this is due to electrical abnormalities of the heart. Cardiac arrest is electrical, heart attack is circulatory. So there's no blood flow, but cardiac arrest, if the person is just slumped, is not saying, oh, my chest, is not holding their chest, is not trying to gasp for air, that's a cardiac arrest. Then you can administer what they call PPRO, cardiopulmonary resuscitation. And that is done 30 chest pump, like you're pressing the chest 30 times in the middle, the area called the sternum. 30, 30 pump or press.
Compression.
Compression, sorry, that's what I was trying to remember. 30 compression, thank you. And then 2 kiss. But due to the COVID rules and all that, I think that kiss was They had to remove that unless maybe it's your person, you're home, you know. And if a medical aid is there, there's machine to give them that kiss of life, as they call it, you know. And then there's defibrillator to try to restart the heart, you know. So I just wanted to point out that heart attack is different from a cardiac arrest, but heart attack can lead to a cardiac arrest. So if somebody is having a heart attack, don't go pressing their chest. They are not having an arrest, but it could lead to it. You know, but try to do these things before a registered practitioner comes. So I'll quickly move on. I'm sweating. I don't know why I took my coat, because it was cold when I left the house.
Take it off and tie it around your waist.
Yeah, that's what I'll do. Just give me a minute. Let me do that. Because I'm really hot now.
Yeah, all the energy you are burning.
I'm going to climb a hill. When you're walking down, it's good. When you're climbing a hill, that's where the trouble is.
Yeah, but that's when you burn more, isn't it?
Yeah, that's when you burn more. That's when the heart is pumping.
Yeah,
Your
no
muscles,
pain.
your heart muscles are strengthened.
Yeah, no pain,
really
no
hard.
gain.
Anyway, what is the major cause of heart attack? It's heart attack is part of a range of conditions called coronary heart disease. And coronary is, you know, the arteries of the heart, you know, and this disease is caused by a lot of things, like we said, could be caused by age, lifestyle, genetics, diet, and all that. So heart attack is a secondary condition of CHD, which is coronary heart disease. You know, and interestingly, some figures that I didn't even mention earlier was that myocardial infarction, going back to MI now, is a leading cause of death in the UK and all over the world. And in the UK, we have 460 deaths daily. That means one every 3 minutes. One person dies every 3 minutes from myocardial infarction. You know, and over the years, there's been, you know, medical development, you know, but it's still not enough. That's because, you know, some people are doing what they need to do, some are not. The medical development is maybe not going as fast as it should. We don't know. But then one person dying is one too many, especially from preventable illness, if they can. You know, so back to what happens with CHD. So like we said, the coronary heart disease is the umbrella that covers this myocardial infarction. You know, and what is that cause of the of the coronary heart disease? I've mentioned, I've touched on it earlier. That's the aeroplane. It's too loud. I'll just wait for it to go.
Okay.
Yeah, so the coronary heart disease is a condition where major blood vessels that supplies the heart gets clogged with deposits of cholesterol. And every time we're talking about bad cholesterol, good cholesterol, and people don't actually know that these things are real, like it affects our body. You know, so what that cholesterol does, it undergoes some chemical reactions, becomes oxidized, and then forms a cell called foam cell, and then hardens, becomes a plaque, and that plaque ruptures. You know, I mind you, that plug is cells, is blood. It's blood, blood vessels, they become hardened, ruptures, and moves from the site. And because that area is already narrowed, already from damages from different things, could be high blood pressure, could be whatever. Smoking is a major cause of arterial disease, you know, so that clot blocks the supply of blood to the heart. And that's why we have, like I said earlier, the chest pain, the angina. You know, when these cars are really disturbing. When that pain is there, sometimes these things are happening in our body, we don't even know. So you feel pain, oh God, I feel this pain in my chest. I feel this pain, you know. There's the likelihood that there might be a clot. It might not be a total occlusion, which results in a myocardial infarction. It might be a partial occlusion. So blood is still going through the arteries, but not as much as it should. So there's that limited oxygen in the heart supply, and you know, a lot of chemical reactions are going on that I don't want to go into. Like I said earlier, you know, so when that plug ruptures, blood clot will develop, and the blood clot will block the supply of blood to the heart. I've said this earlier. That is what causes the heart attack. You know, so what are the complications? And I say these things, you know, sometimes some people, when you're talking about medical conditions like this, people think you are trying to drive in the fear factor. No, that's not the point. The point is for us to be aware, knowledge. We can't bury our head in the sand. And something I forgot to mention earlier is that Black people, we are more at risk. We're more at risk of CVD or and CHD, coronary heart disease, for whatever reason. It might be our diet, it might be our genes, whatever, we don't know. But we are more at risk. There's facts to prove it. Statistics are there. Go to the Office of National Statistics. This information, they're in public domain, you know, so we burying our head in the sand or not wanting to know these things, it won't help anybody. It wouldn't. So, and this is not a fear factor. It's not. It's just trying to spread the knowledge. Let's know these things and do what we can. That's what I always say. Let's do what we can do to reduce the risk of developing these illnesses. You know, and if it's the maybe high blood pressure is already there, let's do what we can do to manage it effectively.
So what can we do?
Yeah, I'll go on to that, sister.
Okay, sorry.
And the funniest part, yeah, I'll go on to that, sister. The funniest part is what we can do is what we've already been doing. When we talk about diabetes, the same thing. What we're going to do, or what we're talking about now. When we talk about high blood pressure, the same thing. Anyway, I'll just continue because I just started talking randomly, you know. Anyway, so the complications, because I wrote them like in order. I'll talk about the complications of a heart attack. So it's a serious and life-threatening attack. And then there's what's called arrhythmia. And this is an abnormal heartbeat. So because of that heart attack, somebody can have arrhythmia, which is an abnormal heartbeat. And that is what will now lead to a cardiac arrest. So when there's that abnormal heartbeat in the electrical conduction of the heart, you know, then the heart might just stop working. That's where the cardiac arrest comes in. And that's when you should administer the CPRO that we were talking about, if you're trained. And, you know, we just pray it doesn't get to that level, because when you administer CPRO, sometimes there's this bone fracture because it's a very hard exercise. That compression, like Sister rightly said earlier, you know. So arrhythmia is a complication. Then there's what's called cardiogenic shock as a result of heart attack. And what is cardiogenic? Cardio is the heart. Genic is something that generates. So shock, what is shock? Shock is that sudden drop in blood flow, thereby reducing tissue perfusion. And once that heart attack has happened, there's less blood in the body to pump around, and then there's reduced tissue perfusion. And then you see if the person changing color, that's because there's no oxygen. Remember, it's the blood that takes the oxygen around the body, taking nutrients around the body, so the body goes into shock. The body goes into shock, reduced blood pressure. You see the blood pressure going down. And if care is not given, that person is going to die. So it's best that we try not to get to that stage if we can. And then there's a heart rupture where the muscles or the valve in the heart just splits. They will say somebody, the heart just cut, there's blood. Because of that pump, that blood has been blocked somewhere. It can't go, so there's that bulge, and poof. These things happen. Like I said, this is not fear factor. If you're listening to me on YouTube, on Facebook, wherever, this is not a fear factor. These are things that happen to people. We pray we will not be statistics in the mighty name of Jesus. But these things happen, so let's be aware. So they say these things happen really quickly after a heart attack. And they say people die suddenly from a complaint of a heart attack before reaching the hospital or within the first month. And then they will see people that lived after a heart attack. But then there's that fear of a secondary attack. There's always that fear that, oh God, what if it happens again? People are living after the attack if they get that emergency attention that they need. If within that first 60 minutes that it happens, they are giving what they need. Like if you can give them aspirin to chew, they chew it. And medical aid comes, help them, they go to the hospital, and they're giving some other dose like clopidogrel. There are lots of other things that the hospital would do for them. If they get that attention, there's a chance that there will be less tissue damage in the heart, and they can go on to live a fulfilling lifestyle afterwards.
So the aspirin, do you get it off the counter?
Yeah, aspirin is everywhere.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it is, sister.
I know back home. I know back home, yes, but here yeah. I don't think. All I know is paracetamol. I don't know that aspirin is off the counter.
No. Yeah, aspirin is very. Oh God, this aeroplane.
It's all right. The funny thing is I cannot hear it. I can't hear it.
Oh, really? You can't hear it?
No, not at all.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, but then when it comes, when it's flying like me, because the airport is not far from where I live. So when it takes off, that sound, you can actually hear it.
Okay.
And it's disturbing me here, so I would just be complaining. It's good that you can't hear. Anyway, so aspirin is everywhere. I get mine from Home Again. And it's 69p. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, 69p, 70p, and they don't sell more than 2.
Yeah. Well, it's not something you should take regularly at all, is it?
No, it's not.
It's not like paracetamol, is it?
No, it's not. But then people do take it for severe pain. But normally, if you can't do like me, I don't like medication. I just don't like it. And I just pray, God, don't let me be sick where they will be forcing me to take medication. You understand? So I don't take them. Obviously, everybody's different. If you feel pain, if I feel pain now, if I tell my husband, I'm feeling pain, he will say, it's medication, not that what you take. But I don't like it, He will not understand why I don't want to take, but you understand. So people will take, some people will not. But unless that thing is so painful, like I can't even walk, I say, okay, let me take medication, So paracetamol, yes, you can take, and obviously every medication has a side effect. Aspirin is stronger than paracetamol because aspirin has got that anti-clotting factor that we said earlier. Aspirin is an anticoagulant. You know, it's a blood thinner. So it's stronger than paracetamol. And there's a warning to aspirin. Some people have what is called iron arrow, high iron arrow. So that's used to check their clotting factor. Some people are at risk of bleeding heavily, you know, for whatever reason. It might be genetic or whatever, or through a condition. You know, some people bleed easily. So if you bleed easily, aspirin is not advised at all, unless in this situation where it's a heart attack. And even if it's a heart attack, if they give them aspirin, they are careful not to give them another blood thinner called clopidogrel, because that means the bleeding will be too much. We don't want to be treating one and be destroying another. You understand? So, but if it's somebody that doesn't have risk of bleed, high risk of bleed, then they can have aspirin and clopidogrel together. But if the person has high risk of bleed, they can only have aspirin first before other meds are given. You understand? So aspirin is, you know, you can go to the counter and buy aspirin and just have it in the house. Sometimes people take it when they feel severe pain, or when you're feeling chest pain, just take it, chew it, you know. But again, I would say seek advice from your medical doctor. When next you visit the doctor, you could ask them, I've heard they said aspirin. What do you think about it? Is that something I should just have and keep at home? God forbid these things happen, you know. So yeah, aspirin is good. Is accessible. It's everywhere.
Okay.
Yeah. So okay, let me continue now. So this heart attack, myocardial infarction, you know, it's is caused by different things, like we said earlier. The age, you know, as we get older, it just, our bodies change, like I say all the time. So we are at high risk of developing some medical conditions. And then depends on how the attack was. If it was a mild attack where you just feel that pain, no, you know, I've seen somebody who had just who thought it was just a chest pain that he was having, but it wasn't. It was a massive heart attack he was having. You know, after some stuff done, he realized, oh my God, that was something. If you know, this person had not sought for help, he would have died in the next couple of hours. You know, so it's important. Time is tissue. Time is tissue. Here in the UK, if you're feeling the symptoms, you go to the A&E and you complain of chest pain, as long as that person is not lying because they just want medical attention, you know. But once you go to the A&E and say, I feel chest pain, they will do an ECG for you. They will do because chest pain is not something that, you know, people joke with, because it could be mild, it could be serious. It's best to be on the safe side. You know, time is tissue, like they always say. And the severity, again, depends on how long, you know, somebody gets treatment, you know. It's just back to what I've been saying about time being tissue. So the last part now is what do we do? This is the part Sister was asking about.
Yeah.
What do we do to prevent or reduce the risk? One is to stop smoking. There is research, loads of evidence that smoking is a major cause, because those toxins, they are deposited in the arteries and they evoke chemical reaction, increasing the plaque formation, you know. Like I always say, it's the cycle. One thing leads to another, one thing leads to another. You know, so smoking is a major cause of heart disease. Then weight loss, which is where we come in now. Weight loss is another major treatment or prevention, not treatment, management, sorry. Management strategy for heart attack, you know, to prevent it and to manage it, to manage a secondary attack. reduce your weight, because weight, as we already know, is excess fat. And it's that fat that, oh yeah, I've got my target. It's that fat that becomes hardened. It's that fat that is cholesterol, or it's the cholesterol that becomes fat. I don't even know how to put it now. But then it becomes hardened, forms the plaque, and ruptures that causes this whole thing. So if we can reduce the amount of fat we have in our body, we're reducing the risk of these things happening. A lot of people will argue, yeah, what about fit people, people who exercise, people who are slim, who get these things? What about them? Does that mean that you will now leave yourself and eat and go really fat because these things happen to them? Why don't you do your bit? Do your bit, lose your weight, live healthy, and leave other people, you know. Anyway, regular exercise is another prevention method. Regular exercise, and NHS recommends 150 minutes weekly.
That's so if you want to split hours, is it?
Yeah. If you want to split it, 30 minutes every day for 5 days, and it's moderate intensity activities, you know. But for me, it's just the consistency. Doesn't matter if it's 30 minutes. You know, people might argue, is 30 minutes enough? Imagine you do 1 hour today and you don't do for the next 3 weeks, you know, or you do 2.5 hours today. You don't do for the next week, Seth. By the time you want to do it again, you struggle. I've noticed. You will struggle. That's why the consistency matters a lot. Consistency matters. Keep doing it. It doesn't matter if you're not going really fast or really heavy, but you are still doing it, you know. And then another prevention or risk reduction method is low fat, high fiber diet, including whole grains and your 5 portions of fruit and veg daily. So our diet comes in again. And like I was saying, the last time I talked about high blood pressure, these are the same thing. We talked about diabetes, the same thing. We talked about cholesterol, the same thing. You know, these are what they tell us do and don't do. And sadly, it's hard sometimes because we want the cake. We want the fizzy drink, you know, which are good occasionally. But it's that everyday thing that you know, that causes the harm, where your diet is you know, always junk, you're sedentary, you drink a lot, you smoke a lot. I'm talking about drinking a lot. The last risk reduction method or strategy that they said is moderate alcohol consumption. And that's debatable. Some say drink, some say don't drink. And today they will say 1 glass of wine is fine. Tomorrow they will say 2 glasses, you know. There's that conflict. One is not sure what is safe and unsafe anymore, you know. So it's individual choice. You know, if you want to drink alcohol, so be it. If you don't want to drink alcohol, so be it. That's your prerogative. It's none of my business. But here, they've just said moderate alcohol consumption. You know, so this information, all of them I got from NHS. I tried to source my information. I could have done more research, going to articles and all that. But if NHS, God bless them, they've decided to pull them together in one place, and it's a credible website, reliable information, why am I giving myself extra work? So I got all this from NHS website on myocardial infarction or heart attack. So the information is there. Anybody want to do further reading or further research, please do. I always encourage people to do that. Knowledge is power. Information is key to everything. You don't know where you're going, but with the right information, you can know. that, oh, this is where I'm going. This is where I should take, So on that note, I will end this talk in case it start have any contribution, but that is the end of this talk on myocardial infarction for today. And I hope somebody's learned a thing or two.
Thank you so much. I've learned quite a lot, though. I've learned quite a lot,
Yeah.
And thank you for all the time you take to research and to pour out all these things to us. I just pray that when we share these links, that people will listen to it. It's not very in terms of being visual. Of course, there are no diagrams and everything, but somewhere along the line, I'm hoping that people will listen to it and get the meat out of the whole stuff, because this is an everyday issue. Somebody like me that is coming from a background, no medical background, the maximum I know is to use a defib or to do, never done a resuscitation, but still do first aid training. That's the maximum I know.
Yeah.
Even the meds, I still mix them up, which what does what. So this is good refresher. Now, my question is, for somebody who has a high blood pressure and the figures are just keep soaring, how do you call it? Keep going up. That's what I mean to say. Yeah, and on meds, what do you do? What can be done? Because I have close relation whose blood pressure just keeps soaring. And so what do you do in that sort of case?
The first thing I would suggest is that it's to seek a medical review or medication review, because depends on the drugs that person is on for high blood pressure. And, I did research on it about why we as Black people are given a particular drug. And more often than not, it's amlodipine that we are given. And that is because, it's just the way our body functions. Remember, I just said it earlier that we are at high risk of this cardiac disease. You can't explain it, but it is there. And this is due to years of research, statistics, So we as a people, we are given this meds. And the first meds that if a Black person complains or is having high blood pressure, it's amlodipine. And if a white person is, I'm not saying that's a general rule, but more often than not, that's what happens. They give ramipril. That's another blood pressure medication, However, I've seen Black people who get these two medication now, because obviously the amlodipine is not doing what it's supposed to do. Oh, that's a beautiful thing about it. The amlodipine is not doing what it's supposed to do effectively. So they will add the ramipril, or they will switch the drugs, or they will increase the dose. And when they've given that patient or that person the highest dose they can of amlodipine, they will not add maybe ramipril or another medication. And both drugs work, they do the same thing, but they pass through different routes. Amlodipine does reducing your blood pressure, ramipril reduces your blood pressure, but just how they do it is just different. And obviously, through years of vigorous research, the medical team have come to this conclusion that this particular drug works better with these people. You understand, with all due respect to every race. So I would suggest seek medical review of your medication, and then try as much as possible to do this that we are doing right now. It's hard. It's hard, especially when people are older. This physical exercise is just that walk. And like we said, it doesn't have to be going to the gym. I haven't been to the gym, lifting those heavy equipment, but consistent exercise Sometimes in the morning, you're walking around, you see some old people, they've got going out with their dog. You know, after that, maybe 30 minutes, 1 hour walk, they've gone back to their house. And some people might argue that, yeah, my walk is very active. I walk every day. I do this every day, which is good. But you know, this time it's beyond me just walking as an exercise. It's a whole. My body, my mind, you know, it's a full package where I have this mean time. There's this emotional, is it stability? I'll say now, just this calmness I feel because this is me time. So it's beyond just exercising to lose weight. It's a holistic approach. My mind, my body, my soul, I feel happy. I love the fresh hair coming, you know, you understand? So those are what I would suggest. And then particular attention to diet as well. And our outlook to life. You know, our mind is very strong as well.
Yeah,
Our mind, our will. You know, you just have to say, I need to do this. Again, people will argue, yeah, it's easier said than done. You might be younger than the person. You don't know what they've gone through, but hey, it could have been worse. I say that all the time. I say it all the time, whatever it is that we are going through now, Jesus, you don't know what other people have gone through. It could have been worse. So if it's high blood pressure, diabetes, you know, any medication, any medical condition is better than being dead. It's better. So we will try to do what we have to do and just enjoy life.
If I may chip in,
yes, sister.
Years ago, my blood pressure was quite high. You know, I don't know where it's not, I wouldn't say alarming, but to me it was high, you know, and all I know is that immediately, and of course my weight was much, you are obese, all the symptoms were there for all the wrong things. And what I see is that just this low impact exercise that I do, losing, just shedding 2 kilos, starting from just 2 kilos.
Yes,
Zoom, the whole thing just changes.
I'm telling you.
Like, really? You know, and just yesterday, when I did my blood pressure, I was like, what? Look at it. I mean, I didn't even use my watch this time. I used a proper system. And I was like, really? It just...
I'm not hearing no aeroplane, no. It's gone now. I'm not hearing. I don't know until you talk, sister. This aeroplane.
Okay, the plane. Yeah, I was saying that. Yeah, years ago that my blood pressure was pretty high. Yeah. And I just started doing these little exercises that one does, trying to be consistent. Yes. Changing the food, the oils, changing the oils, particularly butter, just swapping everything. You know, the thing is that, and I just found out just shedding 2 kilos, starting with 2, zoom, everything just came down. You know, so just having that positivity, I think it starts with the mind. You have to want it. You have to want it somewhere in there, because if you don't believe you can, then it's difficult. Nobody can force it on you. You know, you have to desire to live and to rewrite your story, the narrative, just change it from in there. And once it's changing there, the taste bud will change, because the battle a lot is with the taste bud. Oh, I can't eat this. Oh, this one is not this. It's not about that anymore. It's about you living a proper life. So if the mind changes and say, see, I'm doing this for me. I had to do so many hashtags for me and say, I'm doing this for me. I love myself that much. You know, I have a lot that I really want to accomplish. And you don't want a situation where your body says, sorry, you can't. You can't do it. Where your mind says, oh, I've got to do this. And your body says, sorry, you're going nowhere. You know, so it's changing the mindset. And with the mindset, change the taste bud. And with that, put in the exercise, the right attitude. Look for people who are going the same way, who are doing things You know, we might not be perfect in doing all this exercise. I still
No.
model up, but at least you are moving, you're doing
We all do
something,
this.
and you begin to see the changes. That's just my own sort of testimony, and I've
Thank you
seen
so
things
much.
change.
Thank you so much, sister, for sharing that. And I'll just quickly add, you know, when we talked about this mind over body, and we talk about, you know, medical intervention and all that, thanks to the constant development of NHS and all that, you know. However, let's say they develop new medication and they give somebody, go home and take these meds. You know, some people still throw away their medication.
Really?
Yeah, some people do. You give some people medication and they try, when they go home, they don't take it like they should, you know. So if you do not play an active role in this whole thing, you know, nothing is going to change. We understand some people are severely ill where they need to be maybe fed, giving their meds and all that, or they can't physically go and exercise. That's a different case entirely. Not when you can actually move from your house to the junction, you know, and another aeroplane.
Aeroplane, deeper tagline,
Ma?
I said aeroplane, deeper tagline. I forget you are on YouTube.
I just died.
Aeroplane, deeper tagline, this Saturday.
Yeah. you know, the noise is very loud when it's going. So, but when it's in the sky, like up, you won't hear it or see it again. So, anyways, is that we need to play an active role. If it's medication they've given you, take your meds, because they normally they always call them patient education. You teach the patient what they need to do, the self-management therapy that they need, and which is the 5 that I've just said. Stop smoking, reduce your alcohol intake. People might argue that smoking is addictive, you know. So there are lots of smoking cessation groups in the UK where they support you to stop smoking. There is the weight loss. If you're struggling with weight loss, you know, there are lots of organizations, and it doesn't have to be fancy. What are we doing now? We're just walking. It's free. Our diets, we try as much as possible to eat well. These things we can actually do if we can. You know, if you are able to, please do them. Do them. Do not put your health in the hands of man. You know, yes, we appreciate the doctors, the nurses, and all they are doing. But if they tell you do something, go do it. If they say you are overweight, go lose some weight. They are not trying to be mean. And, you know, people are easily offended when they talk about weight these days. You can't call people fat. You can't call them big. You can't, you know, they pick offense at everything. But sometimes, no, it's not an insult. They just want you to try to live healthy. And at the end of the day, these preventable illnesses or manageable illnesses cost the NHS a fortune. It costs a fortune that could be used elsewhere, you know, and it's into the system for obesity-related illnesses, you know, because cardiac arrest or cardiovascular disease has a link with obesity. It's not the primary cause, no, but there is the link. We'll talk about the fat, the cholesterol, and all that, you know. So we have an active role. And people will say, you are doing it. I've heard that a lot of times. You know, when I shared my video about 6 years ago when I was exercising, and then the weight loss was magical. The weight was just dropping off like now that, you know, struggle to lose a kilo. But then a lot of people said, Sister Anwa, you don't know, say you don't do old. Which one be all this your sissy? I wasn't doing it to be a sissy. if that one comes with it, so be it. But that wasn't the primary aim of me doing it. I was doing it because until tomorrow, sister, if I put on weight, it gets to a stage, my body, I will know that,
you feel, me too.
Yeah. I start feeling, I just know it that, okay. My body's telling me, you're pushing me now. you're pushing me now, and that is it. I start. So it's more than trying to look CC or wear short clothes and trying to do gelly. It's more than that. It's about my health. It's about my life. It's about me. We are all sojourners on this earth, but it's about me buying some time by the grace of God. Anyway, God will give our people more insight to do what they need to do, take charge of their health. And it's something that we need to encourage our younger ones to do as well. And you were talking about visuals and all that with time, because now I can't do it. I need to plan. But with time,
I know. I'm just thinking of somebody watching this after now.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
So I'm just, even if it's one stationary one, so that it can motivate them to keep watching.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
I'm planning, sister, by the grace of God. Next year is something that I will be doing. I will be inviting medical practitioners. Hopefully I get some who are willing to come share knowledge. But on my Facebook and YouTube, I will be inviting some nurses or doctors, whoever wants to join in, to talk about this head topic. And we'll have visuals, I'll have presentation and all that. So it's just, I'm still working on it, sister.
No worries. Well done. What you're doing well, really. And also as mothers, we have to take a lead in these things. With what we buy in the house, what we give the family. Sometimes we are just overindulging. All those things, the mindset has to change. Buying all these sugary things, we should put more into what the family eats. Like for a long time, my family, they like swallow, So all my swallow, virtually all of them, I don't do 100%. I don't do 100% ever. I don't do 100% pounded. It's all 50-50 because either I'm adding a veg base, like what do you call it? Cabbage pureed as base, or I'm using, when I cannot do that, which takes more time, I'm doing what do you call it? Oat, because oat has less carbs than all these other things that we eat. So that's, I've been doing that for like 5-6 years now. So if they have to eat pure something like pounded, that is luxury. It will be like once or twice a year. I don't do it, or pure ever. It's because maybe I'm busy. I just want to quickly make a small portion for someone, So I don't. So and everything consciously put greens in it. If the food is too bland, it's not colorful, no green, it doesn't look good to me, And when my children, sometimes they don't like some of these things. My okra is not basic. My son that does, he likes cooking. He will say that, but your mom, your own, this is not like that. I said, everybody is working to different diet, So my okra will not be plain okra. I add celery to mine. I puree it with celery and with kale. So you find it looking green. So then it is green okra. To me, I know what I've put inside because otherwise they won't eat it.
True.
Or my beans too, I have to put in the fish. Otherwise they won't eat it. So you have to find ways around this for the family.
True.
And because we are the ones that go to do the shopping in the family, the bulk of the shopping, I know the women do it. When they go, you see all the waffles, all the things coming in. Okay, once a while, but we have to take responsibility for this thing.
True.
We are not killing our children before they get to that age. Choices.
I agree with you, sister. As mothers, we are great influence to our family, not just our children, our husband. We are great influence
definitely
to them, because most homes, I can't say all homes, but it's mostly the mothers that cook. So obviously some homes, some men cook. When I say cook, everyday cook. It's the mothers that do the shopping and cook. So what we are buying for our children, the occasional drink, fizzy drink is fine, but it shouldn't be part of your weekly shopping.
No.
It shouldn't. When you buy your cereal, you're taking.
You want to celebrate.
Yeah.
Even when you want to celebrate, you find that you are eating all the wrong things, really.
Yeah,
You know,
I've noticed. You know, and talking about
oneself.
Yeah, talking about mothers. I remember when we were younger, sister, way back. My mom, hey God, when she go to this market, Ekiwa, the old vegetable there, that woman will buy. Everything she cooks, she will put vegetable.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, funny enough, then we were so angry. Say, Jesus, how you going to put vegetable inside beans? Eh?
Yeah, you see?
My mom will put vegetable, but now we eat moi with salad. Is it not the same thing?
Uh-huh. You see?
But then we'll be angry. Hey, God, Mama go put fish. You go put vegetable inside moi. Eh? But now I'm doing the same thing.
Yeah.
And I'm sure my children will be saying, what is she cooking?
When they see it outside, they'll say, this is different from mom. So I said, then look at what I use for mine. It's not the same oil. Look at the spices they use. It's not the same. You are enjoying it. When you get home now, you start running to the toilet.
True.
You know?
And those people, they don't care about your health. I do.
That's why one has to choose, you know, you are one caterer, like some people who have caterers do their food regularly. You have to choose who it is, because some people, all the things they put in the food, it might taste nice, but on the long run, what is it doing?
Yeah, that's something we need to be mindful of. Oh, let me stop now. I don't pass my house these 2 times.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
I'm actually sweating.
Me too. Hopefully, I'll be able to journey tomorrow.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Have a blessed day, ma.
And you.